Do these eyebrows make me look like a bitch? I hope so. Hi guys, welcome back to my Prius, and welcome back to another episode of Beauty and the Tea. I know that this is water and not tea, but you work with what you have on the days that you have to work with them. So, today's episode is brought to you by the letter T. This episode, there's going to be a lot to unpack, specifically in the second part of the video, because the tea on myself is really just short and to the point. And what I want to talk about is going to be very dramatic, in depth, and serious. And I might have said this before, but I want to reiterate today, this is going to be the absolute last time you will ever hear me talk about James Charles on my channel. Mostly because I'm kind of washing my hands with him and moving on with my life. I say that, who knows what the future holds. It's just in the foreseeable future, you'll never hear me discuss this person again. First and foremost, it's been about 2 weeks since I've uploaded. The reason for that is I've been really busy. As you know, I've said before, I started night classes recently. And I also have been finagling money where I can get it because I have been looking for a job. So I've been out focusing on that. I don't want to be spending time making videos on YouTube when I could be using that time to get employment. So I am happy to inform you that I do have a job now. It's very stable for the foreseeable future. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's not your business. And that should allow me to not be as stressed, because I've been really stressed these past few weeks. If you couldn't tell from my skin, I've been breaking out because of the stress, because not having income, it's not it, sis. Yes, I'm very happy to let all of you out there in YouTube land know that I am employed now. That also means that I'll be getting to do my nails and my hair at the first opportunity, because I haven't been able to do that because I didn't know potential employers how they would feel about the idea of unnatural hair color. Semi-exciting news also, this upcoming weekend, if all things go as planned, I'm going to be getting laser hair removal on my face, thank God. My nighttime instructor, the school I go to, in the daytime, she is a laser hair removal technician, surgeon, whatever you want to call it. And she needed models for her class this weekend. Specifically, she wanted a male model, and I'm the only male in my class right now. So I was like, hey, well, can you do my face if I volunteer? And she said, yes, of course. So someone out there is looking out for me, because that is what is planned right now for this weekend for me. Also, in the event that this is my first time having them on this channel, I got new glasses, so let me know in the comments how you feel about that. That should be everything as far as personal updates go on my front. So let's get into the actual meat of this video. James Charles. You love him, I hate him. He's a controversial figure, and I've kept up with some of his goings-on over the past few videos, specifically two. And the catalyst for today's video, if you've been living under a rock, is that this past Friday, Tati Westbrook, who I talked about in my last Beauty and the Tea video, kind of exposed James and revealed some information behind the scenes about their relationship. And as I speculated, the issue ended up coming down to way more than just vitamins. So in her video, which you can find, it's called Bye Sister, which love that title, she breaks down that she is the one who helped James build his career from the ground up. She reached out to him very early on, before he was even a CoverGirl spokesperson. She helped build his following on YouTube. She helped him with various contracts. She helped with his monetization of his channel. Essentially, she kind of, I'm not going to say she gave everything he has to him, but she helped him achieve everything that he has. Over the past few months, she commentated how his behavior had been changing, how his head had been growing too large, how he was kind of developing, I want to say, toxic and alarming habits. And it's obviously no secret to many, because James has said multiple times on his Twitter that he likes straight guys. So in the video, the bombshell that was dropped, the decline of their friendship really boiled down to two things. One is the vitamins. As you know, she was hurt because she had reached out to him before about doing a sponsorship with her, and he said, no, I'm not going to sell that to my fans because I think that would be inappropriate. And then he came through with some half-assed story about how Sugar Bear Vitamins helped him at Coachella with his security, and they had a contract in hand waiting for him to sign, yada, yada, yada. And she was hurt by that because when she talked to him, he lied to her. And then she found out that he went to drama channels and sold some information and tried to spin the story before it broke so that he would look like the victim. And, you know, it's typical James behavior. As I've said before, he's a toxic person. The main issue that this is boiling down to has to do with sexuality, I should say. I mean, I'm giving a really bad summary of the video, but she talks about a bunch of different stuff about, and the way he kind of churned her friendship, took advantage of her, and it's just become not a good person. Gabriel Zamora got involved in there, but I don't really want to talk about him because I like Gabby. I do think he has a habit of putting his foot in his mouth or stepping into situations that really don't have anything to do with him. Today, what I want to focus on is James Charles. The problem that is James Charles, more specifically. We got some clues that back at her birthday party, there was a big rigmarole over James being inappropriate towards a waiter. And when Tati confronted James about how he was kind of sexually harassing this guy, he said, "It doesn't matter, I'm a celebrity," which, huge red flag there. Believe it or not, yesterday, the waiter came forth with some receipts, including text messages and a video chat, where it was discovered that James had kind of been, he was claiming that the waiter was gay, he was telling the waiter that he was gay, he wasn't claiming. He was telling the waiter that he was gay no matter what he said, and he was just speaking over him and really trying to, like, browbeat him into being a homosexual, which that's not how that works. And then the waiter exposed that James had been speaking to that Gage boy that I talked about. Now, since all of this came out, multiple people have come forth with receipts and text messages. You can look all this up yourself. I don't have the time. About James kind of being a predator. That sounds bad to say because it makes it seem like he's, like, sexually assaulting people. But he is being inappropriate with people. The reason I'm really conflicted, I'm disappointed, and it's hard for me to formulate because my mind is going so many miles an hour. This is upsetting to me, this whole scenario, and the reason I'm not going to talk about James anymore after this. Similarly to why I have a problem with Jussie Smollett. With all of the strides that we've made in society, there are some preconceived notions about the LGBT community that we still struggle with to this day. When Jussie Smollett did what he did with Trump and MAGA, it hurt the community. Oh God, this is such a serious conversation. This is such a serious topic and I'm really struggling. So with any minority group, it is very easy for the actions of a few people to damage the image and integrity of the group as a whole. You see it with all of these news cases with the African American community where every time one person does something wrong, the media latches onto that about, like, this black person is a criminal, they did this, that, and the other, they're a problem, the inner cities, you know, Mexicans are bad hombres, like all of that. The media always latches onto that, and the ignorant masses at large will usually follow that train of thought. So you have people who are like, yes, all Latinos are bad. Yes, all black people hate white people and are involved in crime. And what Jussie Smollett did is he kind of gave this image that, yes, gay people are quick to play the victim and make up stories to suit their narrative. And I've been hearing that from people now since that happened. And James Charles just did something profoundly more damaging to the community as a whole. Since the beginning, there has been this narrative that the gay community at large is one that is immoral, corrupt, perverse, and because of being shunned by society, there are actions that we've had to take and ways we've had to format ourselves that kind of push that narrative. You know, back in the 70s and that era, before it was more normalized to be homosexual, you had hookups in the bathroom. You had, like, private clubs that were getting raided by the police. All of these things that, to normalize society, would really serve as evidence that we are perverse or we are abnormal. And luckily, through the changing of tone and legislation, we don't really, in the United States anyway, have to, like, prowl the bathroom to find another gay man or hook up in the park, or we don't have to hide in the shadows as much. But with that, there has been this stigma, especially in the religious right, that this idea of the predatory gay, that homosexuals are out to molest, take advantage of, and convert straight people, your straight kids, that there's something nefarious about us at large. And James Charles, somebody who is a well-known representation of the LGBT community, has unfortunately furthered that narrative with his behavior. I can't even tell you how upset this makes me. And it's kind of been a point of contention in my friend group, because I've been talking about this, and they're poking fun at how invested I am in this drama. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love drama. But the reason that I'm invested in this is because of the potential repercussions that it can have on my community. You have somebody, especially in the face of minors, because his fan base is 12 to 14-year-old girls, who has continuously, through his behavior, tried to take advantage of people, tried to use his social status as a weapon against people, has gone after people more vulnerable or in a worse off situation than him. And it's not a good look. Essentially, James Charles is the predatory gay. He's only 19. I see that brought up a lot, like he's young, but he's not that young. You are past the age and you know when no means no, when consent is a thing, when you're crossing that line. And frankly, his behavior has been disgusting. Look at the tweets. Look at the text messages people are posting. Listen to the stories people are telling. And if this scenario were different, it would be just as bad. I mean, how many times have you heard about straight men harassing women to try to convince them to hook up with them and not taking no for an answer? Of course that's disgusting. And especially, not that we are above this, and I'm not trying to say we're better than anybody, but in the gay community, we've been through this struggle, you know? Like, from the jump, we're told that there's something wrong with us. You can change, you can be different, you need to change, you need to be different. And we know that sexuality is not that, that's not how that works. You don't just pick up and choose who you're attracted to. And we've been browbeat by other people all our lives to not be gay, to be straight, to be normal. And somebody that should understand this is essentially doing the exact same thing. You're not straight. No, you need to be gay. No, you like me. You're not straight. Why are you saying? I mean, it is disgusting. I am really upset with this whole thing. And I'm very disappointed that we have given a platform to somebody who has hurt us in such a way. And it's not even like he can make the claim that he's changed over the years, because his behavior is still happening. I mean, I'm really disappointed. I feel like the narrative for this entire decade of my life is how disappointed I am with people. But I'm so disappointed. And there are people that are still defending him. Yes, people make mistakes. You have a right to feel the way that you feel. You have a right to say what you say. But you do not have a right to be free of the repercussions of your mistakes. He has been bleeding subscribers faster than anyone in YouTube history. And people are saying, you know, enough is enough. It's time, like, we're just being petty. But it's not enough. And I feel for him, because I'm sure, especially because to me he strikes me as a narcissist, I'm sure that this is really mentally and emotionally frustrating and stressful for him. But you reap what you sow. And I'm hoping that it at least drives the message home, the severity of what he's done. Because that 8-minute half-assed apology video was not acknowledging the severity of his issues and talking to his mother in that video like he thought it would earn him some sympathetic brownie points instead of making him look like a total tool. I don't even know what that was about. If I have an issue with somebody in my personal life, I will talk to them privately if I need them to do something. I'm not going to address her or them in my YouTube video and be like, hey, please don't do this for me. You know, it was clearly a grab at sympathy and to make him look more vulnerable, because then he started crying like Laura Lee, and I'm just so sorry that I've done, you know, it was bullshit. And people are getting on to Tati for calling him out because of the vitamins. She wouldn't have done it without it. But she said, if you watched her video, that she's been trying to address this behind the scenes with him. Which, duh. And she's bringing this to the light now because she's realizing she can't get through to him privately, and she wants to make it very publicly clear that she's not associated with him anymore. That is understandable. I don't want to rant about this all day long. I mean, you can look up the situation, you can decide what you want to go for yourself. My point is this. This is serious. This is a really big problem, regardless of who it was. Browbeating people into being the way you want them to be, influencing people, intimidating people into compromising themselves for your benefit is one of the nastiest things that you can do as a person, especially when you are manipulating something that already causes a lot of mental and emotional stress. Who we are as people, who we identify as, is something that most people struggle through for a large portion of their life. And preying on weaker people who are in that struggle is vile and is not something that I can support. It is not something that you should support. And the fact that this is somebody who belongs to a community known for that struggle makes this all the more disgusting. So I have this to say, if you're a fan of his, or if this has somehow affected your perception of the LGBT community at large, this is not how all of us are. This is not something that is okay to us. And please, please do not let this affect how you interpret our community to be. And if you yourself are ever in a situation similar to this, do not allow somebody, regardless of who they are, to let you compromise yourself for them. And though the price may be high if you find yourself in this scenario, and it's somebody, speak out. You know, tell your friends, tell your family, tell the public. I mean, yes, it took a while and there are people who are just ruthlessly attacked, but what is the lesson that you want to depart unto others? That you should always cower to the bigger man, or that you should stand resolute in yourself regardless of how dark the night may appear? That's all I have to say about that. I'm just disappointed, but thank you guys for listening to me ramble in my car. I really hope that you don't ever have to experience this kind of thing. With all of that being said, now that the sunlight is making this video really weird to watch, I am Harley Nouveau, and until our stars next align.